The papyrus, putting on my table every month. I don't wanna be sad. Don't even try to hide it. No, I don't wanna lose it. And you see how it is, it's so inviting. The papyrus, we're all so alive. The papyrus.
This is the Papyrus TV News Update. You're welcome. First, the headlines. Supreme Court reinstates Anyanwu as PDP National Secretary. Kwankwaso condemns Tinubu's state of emergency in Rivers. FG taken to ECOWAS court over Rivers crisis. NAF airstrikes devastate terrorist camps in Borno, Katsina. Nnamdi Kanu apologizes in court, pleads not guilty. Shettima mourns victims of Abuja tanker explosion. Kaduna leads North in IGR as CAD IRS defends tax reforms. The details. The Supreme Court has ruled in favor of Senator Samuel Anyanwu, affirming him as the legitimate National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). The ruling overturns an earlier decision by the Court of Appeal in Enugu, which had dismissed Anyanwu's claim to the position. The Apex Court agreed with Anyanwu's argument that both the trial court and the appellate court had no jurisdiction over the matter as it involved internal party affairs. With this decision, Anyanwu officially retains his role, resolving a contentious legal battle that had caused uncertainty within the party's leadership structure. The verdict is expected to bring stability to the PDP ahead of upcoming political activities. Meanwhile, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, leader of the New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP), has fiercely criticized President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's decision to impose a state of emergency in Rivers State, warning that it sets a dangerous precedent for democracy in Nigeria. In a strongly worded statement, Kwankwaso condemned the suspension of Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy, and the entire state legislature, describing it as an unconstitutional overreach of executive power. He accused the 10th National Assembly of failing in its duty by quickly approving the emergency rule through a voice vote, calling it a sign of legislative weakness and rubber stamp politics. Kwankwaso also urged the judiciary to remain independent and resist external influence, warning that allowing the federal government to interfere in opposition-led states could lead to political instability across the country. He further cautioned against the involvement of the military in civilian governance, stating that such actions could reverse Nigeria's democratic process. He called on President Tinubu to reconsider the decision, arguing that the political crisis in Rivers State did not warrant such drastic measures. Continuing, the federal government is facing legal action at the Community Court of Justice of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS Court, over the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State. The lawsuit filed by Comrade Harry Ibiso and 11 others, including members of the Ijaw Youth Council, challenges President Bola Tinubu's authority to remove elected officials from office. The applicants argue that suspending Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy, and the state lawmakers is unconstitutional and violates the democratic rights of Rivers citizens. In the suit, they claim that the president's actions amount to neo-junta governance and strip the people of their right to elect and be governed by leaders of their choice. They are seeking a court order to quash all decisions made by the sole administrator appointed by the federal government and restore the state's democratic institutions. The ECOWAS court has not yet scheduled a hearing date, but the case is expected to test the limits of presidential power in Nigeria's federal system. In other news, the Nigerian Air Force (NAF) has carried out a series of devastating airstrikes on terrorist hideouts in Borno and Katsina states, dealing a severe blow to insurgent operations. According to NAF Deputy Spokesman, Group Captain Kabiru Ali, the strikes, conducted between March 17 and 19, targeted forfeited terrorist camps in Chiralia, Graza, Yue, and Zango Hill. These locations had been identified as key operational bases for insurgents responsible for attacks along major highways and in rural communities. In Borno's Timbuktu Triangle, intelligence reports revealed that terrorists had been planning fresh attacks before NAF jets launched a precision assault, destroying multiple structures and eliminating several fighters. Further airstrikes in the Mandara Mountains and Sambisa Forest targeted extremist leaders who were reportedly indoctrinating new recruits. In Katsina, coordinated air and ground operations dismantled bandit strongholds, neutralizing several armed criminals and crippling their operational capacity. NAF confirmed that intelligence assessments show significant disruption to terrorist logistics and coordination, marking a major success in counterinsurgency efforts. In another development, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has publicly apologized to Justice Binta Nyako and senior advocate of Nigeria, San Adegboyega Awomolo, over his previous outburst in court. Kanu's lead counsel, former Attorney General Kanu Agabi, delivered the apology on his behalf, acknowledging that his client had acted in frustration but now deeply regrets his words. In expressing his anger, he attacks the court, the judge, the prosecution, and even his own lawyers. We apologize for his remarks and appeal for forgiveness, Agabi stated. During his arraignment, Kanu pleaded not guilty to the 7 terrorism-related charges filed against him by the federal government. His legal team argued that his prosecution was politically motivated and urged the court to ensure a fair trial. Justice James Omotosho, who recently took over the case following allegations of bias against the previous judge, scheduled the trial to proceed on April 29, May 2, and May 6, 2025. Kanu has been in the custody of the Department of State Services, DSS, since June 2021 after his controversial extradition from Kenya. His trial remains a highly sensitive issue, with political and human rights groups closely monitoring the proceedings. Furthermore, Vice President Kashim Shettima has expressed deep sorrow over the tragic tanker explosion in Abuja's Karu area, which claimed multiple lives and left several others injured. In a statement released on Friday, March 21st, Shettima extended his condolences to the grieving families and assured survivors that the federal government will provide full support for their recovery. My deepest condolences go out to the families who have lost their loved ones in this tragedy. No words can fully express our sorrow. The federal government stands with you in this difficult time, he said. He also commended emergency responders, including the Federal Road Safety Corps, Red Cross, and fire service personnel, for their swift action in rescuing victims and providing medical assistance. President Bola Tinubu has ordered a full investigation into the incident and directed security agencies to enhance road safety measures, particularly around Abuja's entry and exit points, to prevent similar disasters in the future. The explosion has sparked renewed concerns over fuel transportation safety and the enforcement of regulations to prevent such tragedies. Conclusively, the Kaduna State Internal Revenue Service (CAD IRS) has reaffirmed Kaduna's position as the top-performing state in internally generated revenue (IGR) among the 19 northern states over the past 2 years. In a statement signed by its head of corporate communication, Malam Zakari Jamilu Mohammed, CAD IRS credited the state's success to Governor Ubasani's tax reforms. These include the introduction of an integrated tax administration portal, Pay Kaduna, financial inclusion initiatives, and enhanced stakeholder engagement, all of which have improved tax collection efficiency. The statement was in response to claims suggesting a decline in Kaduna's IGR under the current administration. Mohammed clarified that official records of state IGR collections are publicly available for verification, dismissing the allegations as baseless. He also debunked rumors that the former executive chairman of CAD IRS was removed for confronting the Speaker of the State House of Assembly over tax evasion. According to him, the former chairman served his full 4-year tenure as stipulated by the Kaduna State Tax Codification and Consolidation Law before a new appointment was made. As validation of Governor Sani's reforms, Kaduna State generated 62.48 billion naira in IGR in 2023 and 71 billion naira in 2024, maintaining its lead in the region. Additionally, in just the first 2 months of 2025, the state has already collected 14.16 billion naira, the statement revealed. CAD IRS highlighted ongoing automation efforts, ensuring that tax payments are processed through the Pay Kaduna portal or direct payment channels with funds automatically deposited into the state's treasury single account. The agency also introduced an interactive voice response system to enhance taxpayer support and complaint resolution, reinforcing Kaduna's commitment to modern and efficient tax administration.
The papyrus.